G'day guys, I'm David from Be Skilled Be Fit. Welcome to week 2 of Masterclass Monday. Now if you were with us last week and remember what we did underarm throw. We're going to do a little rehash of that, our key teaching points, step point throw, and then we're going to go into our overarm throw and start really throwing the ball nice and hard and then build on our accuracy. So a lot of our gear is going to be similar to what we used last week if you joined with us last week, but hopefully you put it all away, so we're going to have to go find it and get it out again. So I'm going to go over to the van, I'm going to grab some stuff and we can get started. Okay, so overarm throw, we're looking for some throwing things. So as we said last week, socks. Socks are a great idea if you haven't got a few tennis balls or things like that. You can always use socks. Some recycling bottles, we use those for our underarm throw. Some tennis balls, got some of those. The other thing that we can use, because we want to throw nice and hard and where we may have some space limitations and where we can do that safely, I've got some jellyfish, well we call them jellyfish. These are our jellyfish that we can throw. And I've also got some soft foam balls that we could use, which could be really good to use somewhere if you're inside or something like that. So we need to make sure that when we're throwing our stuff, we need to keep safe. We need to make sure we're not damaging anything in the house. If you're using the hall, if you're using the garage, all those areas, need to make sure it's appropriate so that you're not making marks on the walls and making anybody angry at you while we go through all our skills. So I'm going to get this stuff out. If you guys want to duck away and go find some stuff, and then we can get set up. Okay, once you've got your stuff, come on over and we'll get started. Okay, so similar setup to week 1 with our underarm throw, but this time we've come a bit further back from our target. Now remember, your target, you might not have a goal, you might not have a cricket stump, you might be able to use your back fence, you might be able to use a brick wall on the side of your house or at the back of the garage or something like that. So you might be able to find something that's appropriate for your circumstances. Or if we mentioned, maybe up the hallway, make sure you're not using anything that's going to break anything, or it's going to be soft and not make any dirty marks or things like that. And you need to check with the adults and your parents at home if that's okay first. So, but we've gone a little bit further back because with our overarm throw, the most important thing that we do first is we want to throw hard. So we want to throw hard, we want to get technique right for throwing the ball really hard, and then we want to work on our accuracy. So, but before we do that, we're going to have a quick recap on our underarm throw. So for our underarm throw, remember we started with our feet together, hands by my side. What was the first point that we did? Was step, make sure we step towards the target, point towards the target, remember eyes are on the target as well, down nice and low, and then we throw our arm coming through straight. Now remember, if I'm throwing in my right hand, I'm stepping forward with my left, so I'm in this position, arm swinging through straight, so we get the best chance of hitting the target. Now, our key words for our overarm throw are exactly the same, step, point, throw. So what I want you to do is grab the socks, a ball, one of the recycling bottles, whatever it is that you may have found at home. Start with our feet together, hands by our side. And when we step, we need to step so that we are side on now. Okay, so I'm throwing with my right hand, so my tummy's facing this way and I'm side on to the target. My toe is still pointing towards the target, my hand is still pointing towards the target, I'm still looking at the target, and my arm comes up here. This part is really important. We want 90 degrees up here with my elbow. Okay, if I let my elbow drop down here, I'm throwing with my wrist and I don't get any power at all. Okay, so we need our elbow up in this position. And then as we throw, we follow through that way and keep our elbow up the whole time. So I'll show you that again. So start feet together, hands by our side, We're gonna step, side on, point, elbow up nice and high, and then we throw. Okay, we want to be throwing nice and hard this time. Okay, we want to make sure we're not throwing it over the neighbour's fence. We don't want that. We don't want their dog getting it or going in their pool, but we want to throw hard to start with. Okay, we want to throw nice and hard, and then we're going to start working more on our accuracy. Okay, let's go with the socks. Feet together, hands by my side, step, point, remember up nice and straight, elbow up nice and high, pointing, looking at the target, and throw. Remember we want to follow through down past our body, keeping our eye on the target. Okay, let's go with the recycle bottle. Feet together, hands by my side, in a step, point, remember arm comes up, elbow comes up nice and high, 90 degrees up here, and throw. And we'll go with another water bottle, feet together, hands by our side, gonna step, point, remember side on, looking at the target, and throw. They make a great sound, the water bottles. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up into a drill, make it a little bit harder for us as we go. So I'll grab those things back. Okay, this time what we're going to do, like we did with our underarm throw, we're going to run in and pick them up. So when we run in, we could be on our incorrect foot, we could be stepping the wrong way when we pick it up. So our first movement needs to be step into our side on position, arm comes up to point, elbow up to throw, and throw nice and hard. So us running in, it just changes it, makes it a little bit harder for us and makes us think a little bit more about getting into the correct position first. All right, so we're gonna run in, gonna pick it up, side on, step, point, throw, we're gonna throw. We're gonna go with the socks first, and then I'm gonna run back around the cone, in and pick up one of the other objects, and do the same. All right, so off we go. So we're gonna run in, pick it up, step, point, and throw. Hey, run back around the cone. And let's go to the drink bottle. Step, point, remember elbow up, comes up nice and high, and throw. Step, point, and throw. Okay, let's go with jellyfish. Step, point, and throw. Step, point, and throw. All right, so as you can see, we want to get our heart rate up. We want to get some blood moving, some blood pumping. We want to throw it hard to start with. Okay, we want to throw nice and hard. Keep that elbow up. If we let it drop, we lose all of our power. Our elbow needs to stay up so we can throw nice and hard. Now we're going to start going for our accuracy. Okay, so I'm going to grab some things. Okay, so we've got our stuff back. We're going to go back. We're going to have another go. Really good to keep practicing so that we can throw nice and hard, and then we can get our accuracy up. So remember, if we're right-handed, like I am, throwing with my right hand, I'm in this position. If I'm left-handed, I'm around the other way, facing the other way. So remember, whether you're right or left-handed, make sure you're pointing the right way, make sure you're side on, make sure we're throwing nice and hard. So we're gonna go, we're gonna have some more throws. Remember, want you to throw nice and hard, okay? Okay, so make sure you're grabbing a drink, stay hydrated while you're out here. Before we get back to it, just a quick joke for you. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? He was outstanding in his field. Okay, so next step, we want to change it up. We want to add in a different drill. So this time, I'll grab my buckets, grab my washing basket again, and I'm going to set up a couple of targets up on top of the baskets. Okay, so we can put this down here in front of the goal. You could put it in front of your fence or whatever you've been throwing at, whatever your target's been. Maybe also, if you ask your parents, you might even be able to draw with a piece of chalk, a stump or something like that on the fence or on the brick wall or something like that to give you a target if you haven't got a stump or depending on your thing. Don't do it inside though. Anyway, coming on back. So this time, I'm going to do our overarm throw. Remember, we need to be side on. We want to be still throwing hard. I want to try and knock the bottles off the top. But now we're going to really try and go for our accuracy to add that in and see if we can knock the bottles off. Okay, so we're going to go with the ball first. So remember, start, feet together, hands by our side. We want to step, remember, side on. Point, arm comes up, elbow up nice and high. Throw. All right, let's go with the socks. Okay, side on, step, point, throw, elbow up nice and high. Not a lot of power in the socks. Go again. Might go the recycle bottle, elbow up nice and high. All right, so I need to work on my accuracy a little bit. More practice, more practice, more practice, and we get better. All right, so remember, we want to throw hard still. We don't want to do little baby throws. Don't let your elbow drop. We need our elbow up nice and hard. Okay, I'm going to collect these things. I'm going to set it up. And I'm going to have another go. All right, so this time, we're going to add a little bit of a challenge to it. So we've got 2 bottles out there, as you've seen, sitting on the bucket, upside down, and the washing basket. I'm going to see how many throws it takes me to knock them off. Okay, and then what we want to do is, to make it harder, we want to reduce the number of throws. So we want to try and get it down to 2 throws, knocking both bottles off. And then once we've got it down to that, we can start moving back further and throwing from a greater distance to make it a little bit harder. So we want to keep challenging ourselves so that we get better and better. Okay, but this time, I'm going to see how many objects I have to throw before I can knock both bottles off. Okay, remember, side on, elbow up nice and high. Go with the socks again. I'll go with the jellyfish. Okay, might go with the tennis ball. And our little softball. Okay, I only got one of them down, so we're going to collect all our objects again, and we're going to give it another crack and see if we can get them both down with that number of objects, and then we're going to try and reduce the number of throws it takes us to get it. Okay, so our challenge now, we've got the washing basket, we've got the bucket upside down with our bottles on top. The challenge now is to see how many throws it takes us of the objects we've got here to knock the bottles off. As we get better, obviously we want to reduce that down to 2 throws. If you're super, you may be able to get it with one and bounce off one to the other, but that might be a trick shot. So we're going to see how many objects it takes us to throw to knock the bottles down, and then we're going to work on that and move back further if we get it done really quickly. All right. Okay, it took me 8 goes to get the 2 things down. Not a great start, but we want to practice. We want to do it more. Some of them don't like to go down with the soft objects, but what we want to do is we want to reduce that down the number of throws, and then what we want to do is we want to go back further. Okay, so then we're making it harder, throwing from a greater distance as well. All right, I'm going to collect these things, and then I'm going to show you another drill that we can try. Okay, so for our next drill, I've moved our buckets and things out of the way, gone back to just 1 marker here each. Remember, you could use a tea towel or you could use those odd socks again as your marker. So this time what I'm going to get, I've got Adelaide over there who's going to help me, you'll see her in a second, she's actually going to throw the objects out to me. So as the objects come out, I'm going to be running in. Remember, I want to be down nice and low, fingers pointing down towards the ground, eyes down on the ball. If I look up, I'm going to end up missing it. So fingers pointing down, eyes on the ball, up, step, point, throw, elbow up nice and high, and throw nice and hard. All right, so remember those fingers are going to be pointing down so that we scoop it up. We don't want to put our hand down flat like this and try and stop it. It'll be like a pancake, and most of the time the ball goes straight underneath. Okay, so we want to get those fingers down behind so we can make sure we stop. All right. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, fingers down, up, and throw. So stop, fingers down, step, point, throw. Fingers down, up, elbow up nice and high. Jellyfish. Okay, fingers down, up, and we're going to throw hard. Okay, the next couple we might do our underarm throw. Fingers down, step, point, throw. Fingers down. Elbow up and throw. Woo! That's tiring. Get lots of objects, keep yourself moving, grab a drink, and we'll come back. Okay, so keep practicing, guys. Just before we pack up, another quick joke for you. Why did the maths book look so sad? Because it was full of problems. All right, let's go pack up. Okay, so make sure you pack everything up, put everything back where it was, the washing basket, the socks, the recycle bottles, all of those things. Hope you had lots of fun. I had fun with you guys again. Make sure you keep practicing. You don't only have to do this on a Monday. You can get out there on some of the other days as well and try your underarm throw. Remember, step, point, throw. Try your overarm throw. Remember, that elbow has to come up, needs to stay up so we get lots of power and throw nice and hard. Have a great day. Keep practicing. Love to hear how you're going, and we'll see you next time.